Microphone. Hello, everybody. I hope you guys, I hope everybody had a great week. Hope everything's hunky-dory. And it's nice to hear from you already. Stan, the Alleged Band sounds good. Is that Ralphie? Ralphie Valadares and David Bronson. Nice mix. Well, that's good because we labored over it, trying to get it to work. And Roy, how you doing? Roy, thanks for joining me again. Here we are. It's been a crazy week. I tell you, I forgot what happened, but it was crazy. Don't put me on the spot, man. What you trying to do? Make sure you grab your favorite beverage because we're going to go deep today. Do you like the whatever, some kind of tailpiece? I do. I really like a tailpiece like this. Theoretically, you can distribute the tension evenly. But So it does feel, I think it works. So I do like that tailpiece. So Christmas is upon us. We're actually going to start talking about a guy that I just found out passed away, and he actually did it in July. We'll talk about him in a minute. Well, what was I going to talk about? Two things. I shipped a Heritage Eagle FedEx, and I thought, hey, this one's only going 150 miles. Now, packed it nice. I usually pack them nice. Not going to be a problem. She got it, and what happened? Somebody put a sack of cement on the box, I guess, laid it down and dropped the sack of cement on it, and it cracked the top, cracked the pick guard, and it's like, ay. So we'll see how FedEx handles that. So that was one deal that was kind of a drag. How do I automatically join without checking on the formal invitation? I tend to miss the first few minutes every time. Well, thanks, Kim, for checking that out. Do you subscribe? Are you subscribed to the channel? I think you got to do that. I've got some nice things planned for us today. So to answer your question, I don't know. You subscribe to the channel, and I think you should get a notice.
Well, you do get a notice.
You do get a notice.
But by the time you get the notice, you're already starting to get the notice.
But I send out a post ahead of time. But don't you get the post ahead of time? Anyway.
Yeah. My idea would be to you could start the thing.
Start it early.
And then let it sit on black for a little while.
Let it sit on black. Okay.
Some viewers.
Okay, we could do that.
Wait around in the waiting room.
All right. This is my son talking to me. Say hi, Wes.
Hey.
Hey. Good evening from New Jersey. Andrew with his new guitar. Hope I'll have more luck with the Eastman. Oh, that's right, the Eastman. It's due here tomorrow evening. Yeah, I shipped them both at the same time. So I pray to God that, you're not going to have that problem. I forgot about that. You have to ring the bell for notification. You have to ring the bell for notification.
Oh.
Okay, so let's start ringing the bells. Jim Rolfe is in the place, and we're going to talk to Jim in just a little bit via the cell phone. But before we do that, since we are doing Christmas, do you want to do a Christmas song again? I'm asking you and waiting for a response, and I don't get squat. I have to look at this music. This is I've Got My Love to Keep Me Warm. And the beautiful thing about this particular arrangement or this song is, hey, really, you can play it all year, right? I have another tune. It's Mr. Santa, but it can be. What is that song? What's going on with this? Okay, so anyway, Stratocaster, that's helpful tip. Thanks. Wes Severson said that. Hello from Chicago. Bobby Broom. We were in Chicago. Remember that, Wes? We interviewed Bobby Broom outside of his gig on the some street in Chicago. And people were walking by like, what's going on? I was working on Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas and Christmas time. Well, good, Jim. That's wonderful, Jim. I'm glad to hear that. Anyway, let's play this song. Can you see that? Let's hope so. Let's back it up just a tad. Just here we go. Ta-da! I think that's a great arrangement. What a great song. It's a really weird song. It's got some weird changes. It sets up the tonality, and then it's deceiving. It deceives you all the way.
Are you plugged in with the Cat 5?
Yes. Okay, where are we at here? Patriot for Truth. I like the name of that. Boy, it'd be nice to hear some truth, wouldn't it? I think you are a godsend. Well, thank you. How sweet. You are too, because I tell you, without any students, there ain't no teacher. So nobody watches. So I appreciate you watching, but thank you. Had to start playing because of Parkinson's, but I'll never stop appreciating your help and expertise. What is your name? That's too bad. That is a horrible, horrible disease. I'm sorry to hear that. A friend of mine had it. It's not pretty. So heart goes out to you, buddy. I got some axe problems. You know my Gibson. I'm having some issues playing it. Seems like it's harder pressing the strings, especially on chord solos, lighter gauge. But you got to make sure you have a L4. It should be a great guitar and be able to set up great. Make sure the neck is straight. Lower the action down as far as you can get it. Straighten the neck, and then raise it up till it stops buzzing, and then you're good. Put my gauge that I like is 13, 15, 20 wound, flat wound, 28, 38, 48 hike. So Ralphie, you probably ought to get some more of that wine that you brew in your kitchen, and then you probably won't have to worry about it too much. Okay, so 11s are hard to press down. Well, the action's off then, because the idea is to have a low action so you hardly press on it. I could make this, watch. I can breathe on this and it'll play. Well, wait a minute. Oh, sorry. Humor. No, Jimmy, this is not a cab. It's a Zinfandel. It's called Poison. It's really good. Could Wes post those gauges?
Yeah.
I have a video on that, by the way.
What are the gauges?
The gauges are 13, 15, 20, 28, 38, 48 hike. Greg Hartline here. Sounds good here from Vegas. So when the Raiders get there, are they ever going to, we were saying, how many people does that stadium hold? We watching that Raiders game, or I don't watch football. My sons and great and grandsons are all totally into it.
Can you say the string gauges one more time? Sorry.
I will say the string gauges one more time. 13, 15, 20 wound, 28 wound,
20 wound,
20 W, 28 W, 38 W, 48 W. It's chrome brights flat, extra light gauge. Throw away the 10 and the 14 and buy those two. And I've been trying to get it so they would just give me my own set, but it's hard. Yes, I do, George, have a setup video. If you go to 99-cent guitar lessons under the miscellaneous, it's adjusting your neck and bridge. Be sure to watch that. George, how's your guitar doing, buddy? He has a 575 Heritage that he got from me, and I actually worked a lot on that guitar, and I hope it's still doing you justice. Greg Hartline from Vegas. Yeah, man. Vegas, baby. I decided if I ever get another dog, I'm going to name him Vegas. Come here, baby. Vegas, Vegas. People think you're nuts, but I think it's good. Have you ever learned any songs from Frank Zappa, by Frank Zappa? No, I haven't. But his wife's attending an orchid show. She begged him for weeks to get him and go. And back in bed, his teenage queen is rocking and rolling in that pickup scene. It's the only one I learned. It can't happen here. All right. Hi, Rich. Hope all is good. You are still selling guitars. You know, I'm getting kind of discouraged about selling guitars because a lot of times it gets to be more of a hassle. So I'm just going to try to get new ones, but I don't know. Okay, where are we at? Let's talk. We had a request. I forget the fella's name. He's written me a couple times. Wonderful guy. Said, you know, Red, I like your story time adventures. So we're going to do, say it with me, story time. And I personally made that sign. You notice how I used 3 colors. And what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about Emmett Rhodes. Emmett Rhodes passed away in July this year, and I just read it in Vintage Guitar Magazine. Emmett Rhodes was a wonderful musician, songwriter, singer, and it kind of is the epitome of unrewarded talent. You know, when I was young and in high school, you probably have heard this story before. I told it before. I had a band. We were called the California Grassfields. We had a contract with a local producer, as did Jim Rolfe, who we're going to be talking to on the telephone. And his band was the Children of the Mushroom. Our band was the California Grassfields. We were kind of like Buffalo Springfield, and they were kind of like what group is that? Iron Butterfly. Thank you. And then but anyway, I got it into another group that this guy producer was producing. His name was Dick Parker. He was the bass player for Jimmy Rogers. Remember Jimmy Rogers? Honeycomb, won't you be my baby? All right. So anyway, he lived in Thousand Oaks. We all lived in Thousand Oaks. And so he liked my bass playing. And he said, I was just at A&M and they need a bass player. The bass player is thinking about are going to be leaving the merry-go-round. Merry-go-round had a hit record with Live. And then You're a Very Lovely Woman, which are really wonderful songs. And so I went down there and I had an interview with Jerry Moss. Jerry Moss was the M of A&M. And the guy was kind of, he wasn't, I don't know, wasn't very nice. I don't know. I was just a kid and I don't know squat, but I could play the guitar and the bass. So he says, so look at, I write all the bass lines for the band, you know. But Jerry, I guess, got to start promoting the song 16 Candles. That's how far back he went. But anyway, so, and he had these massive speakers and they put on this track and it had this monstrous bass line. And he said, can you play that? And I said, probably, I don't know. You know, I should have said, yeah, of course I can play that. You know, who couldn't? But being that person, so I didn't. So anyway, he went and said, I went home, learned the part because it was an album cut. And I realized, then the producer called, my producer guy called them again and said, hey, he's confident he can play this. And Jerry's like, no problem. We already got somebody else. So anyway, I was dreading that inconfident attitude of mine, and I just, oh gosh, my life would have been so different, so much better if I would have done that, but the reality is not so. And so that's my only connection to Emmett Rhodes. Emmett Rhodes, though, was like they called him the one-man Beatle. Now there's a movie about him. You ought to check it out, the one-man Beatle. And he was, well, tell you what, let's call Jimmy. But he is the epitome of talent that doesn't go anywhere. And I think that's probably the most common thing in our society is talent that, how many people you got relatives that can really paint or
Hit 4 on that switcher.
that can really produce. There's Emmett in his later years. There he is when he was young. And he was a handsome kid, man, and he could sing really good, and he was a great songwriter and danced around, and the merry-go-round was big. They were on Hollywood Palace and all this, and I don't know, other shows, but he had a lot of kind of hard luck. Anyway.
Make the call.
Oh, let me make the call. Thank you. Here I go. Wait a minute. Let me call Jim. Jim worked with Emmett on his last stuff. So I'm going to call him right now, and we're going to talk about him real quick. Jim Rolfe has some of our what? Whoops.
Hey, Rich, can you hear me?
Yeah. I can hear you.
Okay, I'm going to turn down the sound.
Turn down the sound there. All right,
Yeah,
so here's Jim on the speaker here. This is what I'm doing here. So
hi guys, can you hear me? I'll speak loud.
okay. So tell us about Emmett. Now you said he originally, when he got dropped from A&M, he went over to ABC and Dunhill, and they had this contract on him, like producing 6 albums or something, and
well, I think it was 3. Like you do one, it's 2 on him, and I don't know. For me, writing original thing.
I was reading he got sued by that company because he couldn't fulfill it.
Exactly.
And they sued him for like $250,000, and he's like just a broke musician, really.
I know, it's like, yeah, isn't it great to have a label, huh?
Yeah, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, no kidding.
So yeah, he did. He had that going. That
yeah, and then it kind of stopped, right? I mean, he had the merry-go-round, which is great, and then the solo stuff. And there's comments, by McCartney about him, how thought he was so talented, and just a lot of kudos. And then it just fell apart. He did get married, I know, and had a child. And
yeah, didn't you say that he was in an accident or something?
Yeah, I don't want to say too much, but yeah, I think he was in an accident. It really scared him, and it was a health problem that caused him to pass out. And anyway, so I don't know. As far as I understand, it kind of went down from there. He hadn't done any music that I know of until maybe 1980. Got something back together. I forgot what it was.
Right. Yeah.
But he did that, and then and he wasn't, taking care of himself. Let's just put it that way. He was,
right.
And just from knowing him, he's a really nice guy, but he's had some issues, I guess.
Yeah, who doesn't? He had some drinking issues. Yeah, we all do. Yeah, let's have a glass of wine, Jim.
Yeah, I'm sipping. That's why I got a Pinot Noir.
So, but the thing about him is he did everything himself. He wrote and played everything, right? Like McCartney. and
Yeah, he did some stuff, as I understand it, at their studios, and then later he built an analog studio in his house and
right.
in the back garage, and it was pretty cool. But you know, when I went over there, we were writing after my friend kind of dragged him back into life, and we were songwriting down there, and it was just all dust, and you know, it was unfortunate, and he
Yeah.
wasn't using any of that stuff, and
Yeah.
but you know, he started writing, and we were working on. There's 2 songs on his new album, Rainbow Ends, that
Uh-huh.
you know, I got some co-writing credit, which was real nice of him, because you know, when you're sitting around writing and you punch in a few words on, oh, what about this and what about this and how about this change,
Right.
and he was nice enough to give me and my friends, you know, the big guys that were in that band at that time, writing credit. So it didn't mean anything, but it was just nice of him to.
Right.
do it.
You said he really valued your friendship, and he told you
He
that.
was just so nice. He would call, and like after we would do a session or rehearse, he'd call me later, and just it was just real personable and nice. We didn't go deep or anything, but
Right. Yeah.
but he knew what he wanted. So if you got him back working on music, he knows what he wants.
Right.
And you're not going to be saying, "Hey, well, let's do." And he said, "No, no, we're not doing that."
Yeah.
Playing this, and he knew what he wanted to hear.
Right. Well, it's sad that it kind of turned out that way for him, because was super talented. When I look at those old videos of him, God, he kind of, he's so much like McCartney. I don't know if that was a detriment or what, but as soon as you start getting labeled by somebody about, yeah, he's the American McCartney or something like that, you know, it's like all over for you. It's almost.
Right. Well, it's just pressure. Yeah. And then I don't know the history of his solo album songs. Like, I think,
Yeah.
I remember me and, you know, you mentioned the Children of the Mushroom, me and Jerry McMillan, that was his favorite record. I think it was his first just solo Emmett Rhodes, 1970. And just some really good songs, but I don't know what went on with that. You know, I never saw any. There must be some videos and stuff.
There's a lot of videos. Yeah,
of that. So anyway, but yeah, he was a keyboard player. He could play a little guitar and and drums. He loved. When we were down there, he had his kit set up, and he would just sit down and start playing the drums. You know.
Right.
So.
Well, thanks, Jim, for taking this call. Should, you know, offer a little insight, you know, so that's cool.
Everybody will enjoy checking out that One Man Beatles by Cosimo Merceri. It's Italian produced, but it's, you know, in English, and it's really good. It talks about kind of his history. It's like, you know, reading, but they do a really good job and kind of take you through his life and up to where we were. Now, after we were Chris, I hope I get his name right, Chris Price, the Rainbow's End. Guy,
and you said the other guy, Dan from the Grassroots, was in the band.
Joel Larson, the drummer, was in the merry-go-round and the Grassroots. And yeah, and I told you that story where he goes, well, I think we could go to Japan and make, you know, a couple $10,000 a night. And Emmett just didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I could understand, I guess, you know. Anyway.
All right. Well, thanks, Jim.
Okay. Party on.
You heard it first from a guy who knew him. Thank you, Jim. Bye. That's Jim Rolfe, by the way, who has lessons on 99 Cent Guitar Lessons with the Jerry Reed and classical stuff and all that. So wonderful player and wonderful guy. All right. So enough of that. So it's too bad we lost him, but nobody's getting out of here alive. I'll tell you that. Where are we at on this? Hi, Brad. Okay. Well, let's see. Jazz Journey. Time for Jazz Journey. Everybody say it with me. What we're going to talk about is reaffirming tonality. And basically what that is there's a tonal center whenever you play a couple of chords. Basically, 5 to 1 creates a tonal center. Right? So when you have a tonal center, you can do two things with it. You can reaffirm it, or you can just, it moves on to something else. When you think about it, better read what I was going to say. If we take a song, if we take a 2-5-1 change and we go G minor, C7 to F. Okay, so if we have 4 beats on G minor, or no, let's do 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Why not go something like this? G minor. Now let's bring out the tonal center for G, and the way to do that would be to play some kind of D. So this here's a D augmented. You could with a flat 9. So I could go, and then here's a C7, and then here's an altered C7, and then another altered C7, and then back to F. So now instead of going, I could go. Now, once I'm on F, I have a choice. Do I want to stay on F or go someplace else? It depends on the music. Let's say it stays here. If it stays here, let's reaffirm that tonality by playing its dominant. Okay, that's C7 to F. So now I have, whoop. Okay, now let's say we want to bring out the tonal center of C though. So what we're going to do is back cycle. We're going to play some kind of G7, but we're going to play a flat 5 substitution. So we're going to go D flat 7 to C7 to F. So now we've got something like this. Okay, again. Whoop. Something like that. So do you see how that's working? So when the song says G minor, it doesn't mean you always have to play G minor. You can play its dominant because its dominant's going to point towards the tonal center of G. More than G is going to point to itself. So yeah, I could take that to different voicings. Or you get that? So whenever you're thinking and you're playing within a tonal center, always think about going to the 5 chord and then sometimes going to the 5 of the 5. Okay, so George Cole said, my guitar is great. I broke the headstock when I dropped it on stage when we were taking a bow. What are you, Pete Townsend or something? So he took it to Carruthers, who fixed it, who, by the way, is fixing this Heritage Eagle. And he did a great job. That's good to hear. Saw a documentary on Django the other day. Anything to add? Gee, I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Brad finally made it, Grid. I know we spent a lot of time on Emmett, but really check him out because, you know, the guy was talented. His life work, it's worth checking into. I was listening to the Beatle channel one day, and it was an interview with Sean Lennon, and he's talking about Emmett Rhodes. And I'm like, gee, I hope Emmett hears this. Okay, so glad I could catch your YouTube. Hello, everyone. Guitar, jazz guitar. Okay. Sad the old adage, nice guys finish last. Enjoy your music. and forget the bitterness. You know what? That's really true. And the other thing is, it's always nice to write music. And the way the music scene is nowadays, I'm almost thinking, write the music you hear in your head. Don't try to write it for anything else. Just don't, just do, if it's 7 minutes long, let it be 7 minutes long. Who cares, really? Huh? So, if you want to write a 2-minute song, write a 2-minute song. It doesn't matter. Anything goes. Thank you, Brad. You enjoyed hearing about Emmett. Okay, what is your opinion of Ron Estey? Wow. Could you find a better guitar player? I think not. But otherwise, he's okay. Ron is a wonderful guy, wonderful player. Dale Zdenek always said, every year Dale would have a party, the NAMM show upstairs at the Hilton Hotel when he was with Ted Green and Tommy Tedesco and had his books out, and Ron Estey would be there. And Dale said every year when Ron comes, he gets better and better and better and better. And so, yeah, you can't get that. Ron Estey is the real deal. Okay, and you know what? I've been trying to get him to come to camp, and who knows? Stranger things have happened. Let's see what's on camera there. Okay, never mind. So let me know when you want to go to Carruthers' shop. I sure will. Saw a Tenor Madness video. Is there a lesson on that one? Yes. Yes, I will play some Tenor Madness in a minute. Amy Kane. No way. Amy Kane, how are you, hon? What a nice treat to hear from you. Amy is I think a teacher, right? Or something, and playing jazz guitar in back east somewhere. So welcome to the jazz journey, Amy. Enjoy these sessions, but your voice is quiet. Do I need to turn up my voice, Wes? I'll turn up the knob a little. And the music is loud, just to let you know. Okay. It's got all these knobs, you got a knob and you got to turn them. Let's play some songs, okay? Let's play some Tenor Madness. You want it? I like Tenor Madness. It's got a good beat. It's easy to dance to. Back to Emmett Rhodes. Here's a guy, had a contract, good looking, good, talented guy, could sing great. All the elements. Why didn't he make it to superstardom? And Dick Clark once said, I read that you cannot orchestrate a hit or a talent. It just doesn't happen. And actually, he was challenged by the Senate, from what I understand, to prove that. And he did prove that the stars have to align for that to happen. And they don't always align for everybody. Where are we at? Sorry to be kind of a flake here. Richard Galliano. Great, Galliano. You know where I'm at. Who are the guest guitarists at camp? Hopefully you, Mike, and who? That's the question. Well, I talked to Tom Rotella a year or so ago. Maybe Tom. Maybe Ron. I don't know yet. Okay, let's see, where are we at? I'm sorry here. So Richard, yeah, kind of, I'm in another world here. Let me play. I want to play because I get tired of talking. Let me find the B flat blues somewhere. Gosh, that's slow. There we go. How's that? had to get that out of my system. Okay, let's move on to the chord. Oh my God, you can't do these. Chord corner. And actually, we kind of already did that. Remember, we talked about this on our jazz journey. We were reaffirming the tonal center with some kind of D sound. Then we went to C, and then C dominant, F, and then let's take that idea up a little further. How about here we are in G minor? And let's go to some kind of D sound. About that. There's a D something altered. And then we're going to go to a C13 and then a D flat and then the G. So now we have okay, so if you would learn that and get that so sounds in your head. Okay, so you can pause that, right? You can figure that out. You can pause it and figure it out, right? I don't have to say, hey, put this finger here and then put that finger there. See that? You see it? And then just get that sound in your head, okay? I have the economy picking thing down in the ground. Yeah, you know, when economy picking, I'll never forget the night I saw it with Tommy Tedesco. It's like I said, Tommy, man, it looks like a bee's wing. You can't even see it. Whoops, I'm not doing that very well. But I like this economy picking I like slurred fingering. I like that better. Where are we at here? Sonny Rollins is one of my favorite composers, period. Bingo. Run It Say would be a great choice. Thank you. Thank you, Jim Rolfe. Jim Rolfe. What beautiful sounds coming out of this Heritage. That's true. This is a Heritage Eagle Classic stock. It's 2 years old. I got it from the company. I can order you one, and you can put a small down payment. And then by the time they build it 3 or 4 months later, you'll save up the money for it. So you can call me if you want. Dan Stewart. Hi, Dan. Smoking stuff. Thank you. Thank you. Bill Court. Bill, thank you for joining us. Bill is really a trombone player who wants to play the guitar. And he's been working hard on the jazz thing. He's got great ear. And, you know, I haven't often thought this, but I've tried it. If you ever want to remember what it was like to pick up and play the guitar for the first time, take it and turn it over the other way and try to play something. I've done that, and it's like, forget it. It's crazy. All right, so Bill Court, I'll tell you a funny story about Bill. He came to our workshop. He's come to many of them, and everybody gets up and plays, in front of everybody. And that's the beauty of it, because in our jazz workshop, you want to get the experience and the feeling of doing it. If you don't dive off a diving board, you can do all the explaining in the world, but you don't know what it's going to feel like until you do it. So you got to do it. So we get everybody up. Now, Bill's been up several times now. He's a pro at it. And, but this one time, it was time for Bill. Bill, time, come on up and play with everybody. And his guitar, he couldn't get it out of the case. His case wouldn't open. I said, it's a latch got stuck and he couldn't get it out. And I said, Bill, that guitar doesn't want to come out and play with you, man. It was funny. It was embarrassing for Bill, but he was able to take it in stride. That guitar just ain't going to want to come out. You know, it's like leading a horse to water, but they ain't going to drink. Your right hand is very nice. Thank you. You know, I've enjoyed it. Never mind. Thank you. It's getting a little out of shape there. Let's see, Bill. Okay, so I think we've answered everybody. Shall we?
You got one in there. Stratocaster 65 at the end.
Who
sets up your guitars?
Who sets up? I do.
There's another one too.
Excuse me I got to take a drink because
this guy's Pocket Rocket.
What?
He has our guitar college books on cassette.
Yeah. Oh, really? You have the books and
They're collector's items.
Yes, they are here. Yeah, you could eBay those. Yeah, get tens of dollars. Wow, you got them back out and you're working on them again. Thank you for doing that. That's great. I thought they were good. Boy, you know, it's funny how it all developed over the years, but I thought they were really great. So the information hasn't changed. A lot of them were written in just hand. And I always thought, you know, what would I rather see? A Joe Pass manuscript all printed out, all bitching, or one just his handwriting? I'd rather have one in his handwriting, wouldn't you? So we went to London once and we got to see original manuscripts from Mozart and Beethoven. And it's like, wow, that is so cool to see. There is actually the manuscript that he wrote. Not that I'm in that class. I'm just saying that, you know, that it's as an excuse for me not writing better. So who sets up? I set up my guitars, and Wes, you posted that thing on how to set your guitar up. It just drives me nuts to, you know, a good setup now on your guitar is so expensive. It's what, $50 they want, you know, or to set your guitar up.
$50. Try like $120.
$120 to set up your guitar. It's like, what? You buy a new one for that. So, which is a funny story about Carol Kay. She says she was so busy in the 60s. Instead of changing strings, she'd just go buy another bass. That's funny. Let's see. So anyway, learn to set up your guitar on your own. You're not going to break this thing. You're not going to screw it up. Watch my video on it. Or there's several other videos. You really aren't going to, unless you take the truss rod and crank it till you're like going like that. You're not going to hurt that thing. Okay, where are we at here?
Patrick Evans.
Patrick Evans. Hi, Patrick Evans. A funny comment. That's one of those nice things about camp. Starts with basics, how to get your guitar out of the case. Gracefully. That's true. There's no cool way to do it. Everybody's watching you. By the way, yeah. Bill, go get your guitar. Everybody's watching and waiting, and he can't get it out of the case. God damn, that's funny. So, yeah, Pat Evans, he's a pillar of our community in Fresno. And as Pat said, you know what dogs do to pillars. All right, good evening, Rich. Arpeggios are a current focus of mine. How do you practice arpeggios? Often. I think the key to always doing anything is to transpose. So let's say we're working on an arpeggio of A minor major 9. Etc. 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 Then, and then you might want to do it backwards. Make sure you do it backwards. So you're starting on the 9th, which is hard for people. Okay, D minor. I know that's a weird arpeggio, but someday you're going to learn it. And once you've done that, then you want to do it on other string groups. Etc. And then up and down. There's D minor. Okay, and then up on one, down on another. Around the cycle of fours. That arpeggio is, by the way, is in the jazz guitar improv course, and it's part of the summertime.
Go to source 4.
Summertime. Here it is. It's part of the summertime. How come the writing is backwards?
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, it is on mine. Is it on yours?
No.
Is it out there, you guys? The writing
Here, let's
backwards?
see. Is that backwards?
Yeah, it's on backwards here. What the heck? I don't read backwards.
How weird.
No. So anyway, I was going to say that it's summertime is on there, as you can see down there. Click on that summertime, the crafted solo S, and then go to the PDF. Okay, hey. Whoops, stop that guy. I don't know where that's all backwards. Is it?
Yeah, that's where
It's fine out there. Okay, good.
I'll have to look into that.
That is weird. Anyway, there's an arpeggio. Wait a minute. Keep going down. Keep going down. Next page. Right there. Back up. Right there, measure 9 and 10. There is an A minor. Okay, that's part of that solo. So that's a wonderful arpeggio. And it not only works for minor chords, it works over a dominant chord. In other words, G7, if I play a D minor, D minor major, D minor major 9, it sounds like this. Okay. What a cool sound.
They say it's fine out there.
They do say it's fine.
How weird is that?
It's freaking weird, man. Geez, weird. So anyway, by the way, I got 2 solos back. The goal of the course is for you to work on your own solo, but mastering yours or the ones presented to you a couple of different ways. I got 2 back so far. We've got, what did we say? 69 people doing it. Actually, I've got 75 or 76 doing it. And I've gotten 2 back, and they are spectacular solos. I'd mentioned their names, but I forgot them already. But they did wonderful jobs on their solos back, and I thought, man, that's really good. One of them, I forget the lick, but it was like, wow, that is really cool. So if you get a chance, do you have that up? Yeah, if you go to that, and join it, I tell you what, you won't be unhappy. Okay, so I know it's other song. You might have already done these songs before, but really think about it. Think about it. Okay, where are we at? Setup is $75, and okay, $75. Look at what you could buy for $75 if you learn to do it yourself. How many Starbucks is that? Wes?
What's that?
15 Starbucks, $75. Okay. Um, $50 add network altogether 50. Okay. Stream gets better. Thank you. We're working on it. Thank you. My son is, thanks to my son. Take a screwdriver to it. Good. Okay. We're out. Where do you suggest someone start with your lessons who is new to jazz guitar? I was just talking about jazz guitar improv. I would start with there. I've been teaching guitar for, okay, I started before I could drive. I'm 69 years old. So and I didn't drive until I was 12. So, no, wait a minute. I drove at 16. So 15, I started teaching guitar. Now I started teaching improv and stuff probably way before I started at GIT, which I started in there in 88. So I don't know. So I've been teaching it a long time. And trying to get results is rough. And so I do believe the best way to do it, improv is a language. You got to learn the language, not the rules of the language. The rules of the language are play this scale over this chord and do this and play an arpeggio here and play this and do that and do that. You got all these rules. Theory is a way of analyzing music. It's not a way of composing it. Okay, composing music, which is improv, is you learn something and then you reorganize it. That is the goal of jazz. So that's what you want to do. Okay, so where are we at here? Where do you suggest someone start with jazz? Go to jazzguitarimprov.com. Or is that the site? Oh, you'll post the site. Okay. What pick do you use? Good question. I use this one here. Let's see one that's not rubbed off. Well, they're all rubbed off. It's a Tortoise Flex Dunlop. It's very, very, this is a, whoops, it's blurred, but
Sorry, not working.
it's a Dunlop. And I find that it gets the less, let's go back. They got the idea. It's a Dunlop, looks like that. I used to use a skinnier pick and stuff, but as I get older, I keep dropping it. So I went to the big triangle ones and I was enjoying those for a long time. Then I went to these. I also go to these here. Dunlop. These have more of a pick sound. You can hear the pick. Here, you can't hear the pick so much. Ah, crap. Anyway, so that's what I like to use. It's a thick, it's 1 millimeter or 0.8 millimeter. Don't get them too fat, but don't get them skinny either. Thinner the pick, the thinner the sound. Okay, the harder the pick and the material, you get more of a pick sound. If you've got an hour to practice, how do you structure that time? Well, you know what? You want to make practicing fun, okay? So number one, you want to have a comfortable place. You want to have your stand, your stuff, your guitar right there, a nice cup of coffee. This is going to be an enjoyable experience, okay? That's number one. Enjoy it. So what I would do then is I would work on 3 different things: theory, technique, repertoire. Repertoire is playing a piece of some sort. Theory is understanding how it works, the language. Technique is working on your chops. If you don't work on those 3 areas, you're going to be lacking. But if you just do technique, you're not going to play anything anybody wants to listen to. If you just work on theory, you're a know-it-all and you can't play squat. And I've met several people like that. And so if you just do repertoire, you're playing and you don't know what you're doing. So, man, what do you do there? Okay, so where are we at? Any tips for a beginner to practice on when that beginner doesn't have much time to practice? Try to practice 20-minute segments throughout the day, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes when you get home from work. Just do 20 minutes here. Tell your wife 20 minutes before dinner, after I get home, I'm just going to practice. And the problem is you don't quit. So make sure you set a timer and you quit after 20 minutes. You don't go on for 40 or 45. You know what I mean? 20 minutes is all. And it maintains your sanity. I've been focusing on the blues a lot and revisiting T-Bone and B.B. King. It's amazing how much the blues can teach you, how much they can play. It's not just about bending strings. Yes. Wes, put on something they can enjoy listening to while I take a break. About 17 years ago, I bought a guitar on the go, a 8 CD set, and learned to harmonize scales and harmony basics. It was a big help with theory. Good. I have a course called Theory for the Road, and that'll help you a lot. Well, maybe we're at the end here. Are we at the end? Oh, we haven't done the lick. The lick. Oh my God. And I've been waiting all day to show you this lick. It's called a salt lick. Let's do the guitar tip first, okay? Guitar tip. Let me hold it up so you can read it. All right. Let's do the guitar tip. You know how when you're tuning your guitar and it doesn't go up, and then all of a sudden it goes ding and it goes up a whole step or something? Right, you got a problem in the nut. So what do? You loosen the string, you take some graphite, you take a pencil and rub it in there. First, you want to make sure that there's no burr in there, okay? So always use just an emery file just to make sure. Don't dig down this way, go sideways. Make sure there's nothing there hanging it up. Then you take shavings from a pencil and get it in the nut hole there. Now, when you're putting on strings, if you find that if you're using round-on strings, you can just take that string and take the pencil and just pencil on the string. Okay, and then that'll give you a little graphite in that nut. So when you go to tune it, it glides in there. Otherwise, sometimes they stick. So that's our little guitar tip. Now let's do the lick. What?
Oh, Brad said he broke down and bought an actual tube of graphite.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and there's this other stuff. It's called nut sauce. And you put it in there, and it lasts about 5 years. It's a little, tube. And I think what it is Vaseline. So just take like a handful of Vaseline, like a big ball of it. Just squish it on there. I think you're good. Brad's been doing the pencil trick for many years. It finally did break down and bought a tube. Okay, Okay, Richard, that's actually the chorus. It actually is the chorus I meant.
Oh, he has it up.
Oh, guitar on the go. big bands, you have something to play?
Sure. We can play.
And then I'm going to show you the lick.
Yeah,
I need to find it. I need a minute to find the lick. Hold on. Talk amongst yourselves.
Keep the audio on.
I can't. Done.
You should look at that technique. You're just hitting the strings.
Yeah.
You gotta talk about that. In case you missed this strumming technique.
I can't find my. I know I had it in here. It's a ring notebook. God darn it, Wes.
Oh, is it different?
Huh? Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm going to fade out. Okay, there was. You're a very lovely woman, isn't? Oh shoot! God. Technical faux pas. There was. You're a very lovely woman. There's a cool change in that tune, man. He's got A minor, and then he goes B flat. I'm sorry, that's pretty damn cool. And so is this. You're a very lovely woman. And it's like you're bad guitar, bad guitar. I used to do that all the time. When I play with a band, you got to have a solid body to do that. You know. Okay, I know you've been waiting for this. You know, just think, I could have been. Show that. Is that group still on there?
Yeah.
See that guy over there playing the Fender bass? God, that could have been me. Sometimes God's greatest gifts are unanswered prayers. What a great tune is that? Huh? But that's so true, man. I'm so glad sometimes you think, you know, sometimes you could have had an influence on somebody, but that's an awful big ego to just say that. So I'm not even going to say that. But let me show you this lick. You guys have your guitars out because it's around the same idea. Where we go G minor, D, C, altered, F, D flat, G, C7, F. And here's the lick. Wait a minute. All right, so it's a double time lick. Looks like this. Here's a G minor. And then I'm going F sharp. And so the F sharp, as soon as you stick an F sharp in there, makes it sound like D7. So there's the first. You know, if you think about a double time lick, you got 4 beats. That means you've got 4 notes for each beat. If you look at it that way and think, don't I know 4 notes? Yeah, I know 4 notes. There's 4 notes. Don't I know another 4 notes around a D7 maybe? Yeah, there's 4. So now I have, okay, let's continue. Then I'm going with a pivot tone. So now I have, right? Ah, crap. And now an altered D7 or C7. So now I have, okay, so isn't that cool? I think it is. Okay, the next lick is a sequence. Okay, and now we're going to transpose it up here, and it's more of a. Okay, there's here. That's F. All right, now I'm going to go D flat. A sequence moving it to the new key of D flat. And then to C altered dominant. And that's resolution. So the second half of that was. All together, it sounds like this. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You hear it? There you go. I think that's a pretty good lick. Somebody's coming in.
Next week, you're going to start at 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next week, we are going to start at 6 o'clock. So don't forget, write it in your calendar. 6 o'clock next week. All right, guys, I think we're pretty much done it. That's the second time I've heard that reference, unanswered prayers. Yeah, and I forget the guy whose name who wrote it. That's a great tune. Okay, wait a minute. Let's see if we got everything here. Where are we at? Rich. I'm Rich. Where are we at, Wes? I love his 335. Yes. It's probably got a 1 in and 9/16 neck. It's fret up there. It looked real skinny. Thank you for the positivity. I appreciate your skills message. Thank you. Tell Gail to let you keep picking. Have a nice night, sir, and to Gail. Thank you. Where's Creed? You are in rare form tonight. Well, I guess I started a little early. I love that old 60s stuff. I like the psychedelic music. I agree, Brad. And Brett, thank you for this time. Rich, been a big fan and a consumer of your lessons for years. Thank you for doing that. I appreciate that. And Greg Hartline, got it, Brad. I'm running a few minutes behind on this video chat. Unanswered prayers at Garth Brooks too. What is the single most important principle to master to unlock sight reading? First, make the decision that you need to be a good sight reader. Do you really? Think about it. Are you doing gigs that require you to be a good sight reader? Or do you expire? Or do you really want to be a good sight reader? Do you really need that? All right, so you either have to be working in the studios with an orchestra or something, not just doing song demos, or you got to be doing Broadway, or maybe on a cruise ship, but they rehearse you to death and play the same song over and over again, so you learn the show. What is the situation to do that? Otherwise, you need to be a good reader just for the ability to learn. All right, now, if you really want to be a good sight reader, the first thing you got to do is nail down rhythms, which I have a course called Rhythms at First Sight. So first work on rhythms so rhythms don't baffle you. And then you're golden. Okay, so let's end this evening. Thank you again for joining me. We shall end with a song called what? How about this? Nah. It seems to me I saw something. Somebody wanted Wave. How about Stella by Starlight? Here we go. You think the balance is okay? Okay, well, hey, we'll see you later. I will talk to you next week. Have a wonderful week. Adios. Yeah.
Sweet.
Well, we only got up to like what 89 people or something like that.
Yeah, you know what's happening is Mom sends out that email.
Uh-huh.
I didn't get it till 5:30. She didn't even get it yet.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so no wonder people aren't tuning in till later.
Hey, Jim.
Hey, you're still live. You're still live. Sound's coming off of YouTube.
Thank you.
Just